amazing people. Okay, why don't we start just by, we're going to be signing some executive orders.
Yes, sir.
And do you want to discuss it for a second, Will? And then we'll have a couple of the people speak. And it's my honor to help you. What they did to you is ridiculous.
I would agree.
How long has this been going on?
Well, there's a lot of this, but this one's been going on
since 2008.
2008, yeah, and it just gets bigger and bigger.
And they basically took away your fishing rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they cashed my tax check.
Was that Obama and Biden?
2014 was
Yeah.
when they expanded to do 500,000 square miles. Obama signed that in 2014.
Isn't that crazy, guys? Isn't that crazy? Obama, Biden took away fishing grounds from fishermen in American Samoa, Hawaii, and even up in Maine. It's freaking insane. Let's go back to it.
It's so sad. It's so
Tiny
crazy.
one in Obama.
It's too bad they won't pick it up properly. But it's so sad. Go ahead, Will.
So, as Peter said, sir, starting in 2009, continuing in 2014, a very large part of the American exclusive economic zone in the Pacific, amounting in total to 500,000 square miles of the American economic zone has been, exclusive economic zone has been held off limits to commercial fishing. We have a proclamation for your signature today, sir, that would reopen this area for commercial fishing by American-flagged vessels only. This is a huge deal to the island populations in the Pacific, and we hope that this will lead to a new dawn for the American fishing industry in the Pacific Islands.
Could you, Captain, say a few words about how ridiculous this has been to get to live like this? American Samoa.
We operate out of American Samoa. We supply to Starkist, American company, does military packs, and it's our right. The U.S. has the biggest EEZ in the Pacific, and yet we can't fish there, and it seems unfair. And I'm glad that we're opening it up so that we can feed our people.
And tell them how large an area we're talking about.
The Pacific is big, but this is a huge area. Again, the U.S. has the biggest EEZ in the Pacific.
3 California.
It's an area,
and it's
3
shut off.
Californias.
It's an area the size of 3 Californias. They can't fish there. And so what do? How do you fish? They took away your livelihood.
Well, we fish in the high seas, and then we have to pay to fish in other
Now, the
people's
high seas
EEZs.
would mean more danger, right? Is there more danger in the high seas?
Not really. It's just
Far away.
Distance.
it's a bigger area, and
So how far do you have to travel to get to fish?
the boat carries a lot of fish, so it goes until it's full, basically. But it's good to have plenty of fishing grounds.
To get out to where you have to go from Samoa. 7 days?
It can be as close as 4 days, but it's a little bit of a jaunt. Yeah, and
That's a little bit, I'd say.
fuel's not cheap, so
So you'll travel from 4 to 7 days
just to get to the fishing ground.
just to get to the area that you're allowed to fish. And is that as fertile an area as the area that you're not allowed to fish in? Or?
Well, the Western Pacific in a whole is 80% of the world's tuna comes from the Western Pacific. So U.S. has a huge EEZ there. There's also the island countries, but it's a big area.
So they took away very fertile grounds.
Very fertile, yeah.
This is so crazy. What would you like to say? Go ahead. Such
Thank
an
you,
honor
Mr.
to do this for these people. This is just crazy. Just tell me, when did this start? When was it? When did
It started back in 2008. But thank you, Mr. President, for this great announcement, and thank you so much for your awesome leadership in giving back to American Samoa what had been taken away from us without even consulting with our leaders and people at that time.
You mean they just one day just took away 3 Californias?
Yes. And so this is such a wonderful gift to American Samoa. And of course, it's also Holy Week beginning today. And so thank you for returning to our indigenous people this wonderful gift of our traditional fishing grounds.
It's such an honor to do this. You know, normally us have things and it's nice and everything's good. You get more water in the shower head and things like that. But this is such an honor. What they've done to you people is incredible. It's like, it's so terrible. Well, you have to travel 4 days in a boat to fish. And it's usually 7 days, I was told before, but 4 days to 7 days in order to fish. And you were there a long time before we were, right?
Yes. Yes,
Like-
for centuries.
Like I would
Centuries.
say, yeah, thousands of years.
Mr. President,
Please.
you have another fishery in the Pacific Ocean. This is the purseine fishery that fishes for canned tuna, and then the fishery in Hawaii fishes for fresh tuna. And so there are 150 vessels, and you're opening up Johnston Island, which is very close to Hawaii, makes it a lot easier for them to fish.
Even
Because of
Hawaii.
the
So even Hawaii's.
well, yes, of course. You're helping the entire fleet, and most of our fish are sold on the mainland. We also fish for swordfish, and when we have too many regulations for our swordfish fishery, you get swordfish from Peru, Brazil, and all those other places that don't have the same management measures that we have in the United States. So we are very grateful in Hawaii for this, the fishermen, and it's fantastic.
So what's the difference? You say canned tuna.
Right, you have two different U.S. fisheries there.
Yeah, but the same tuna.
Different. No, that's skipjack, albacore, and yellowfin, and then
So albacore is canned tuna, right?
right.
I know that from.
You've seen the can. So our fishery fishes for the sashimi quality fish. So it's all fresh. It's an ice fishery, and it's been around since what started in the early 1900s. And
Well, it's been around for millions of years.
right, exactly.
Long before us.
Right, exactly.
That's great.
So, that's where you're getting your sashimi and your swordfish from. Most of the swordfish that you eat on the mainland comes from our fishery.
You know, they shut down also areas off Maine. You know that, the Main Lobster.
Oh, yes,
And I
yes.
think we're going to have to open that one up really quickly too. But we did it, and then after the election, which was totally rigged, they went out and they put it back again.
We'll have that for you next
And it was
week.
like 500 square miles or some ridiculous thing like that. And Canada fishes there, but we're not allowed to. Can you imagine? They restricted it, but Canada fishes there. Please.
Mr. President, this is such a great honor. Today in American Samoa, we're celebrating the 125th Flag Day. It's the first day celebrating when the U.S. flag was first raised there. At this very moment, they're celebrating that. So this is a monumental occasion for the people of American Samoa, and we are truly.
So this is a big thing that's
This
going
is
on right now.
because we're a tuna-dependent economy. 99.5% of our exports is tuna.
99.5%? Well, what about the other half?
And then about 80% of our private employment is related to
That's
the tuna industry. So yes, this is a big thing for the territory.
We are a
what
one
is-
industry economy.
Right, what's this going to do in terms? It's so interesting to me. It's so horrible and so stupid. It's so stupid. We're talking about a massive ocean, and they're forced to travel 4 to 7 days to go and fish in an area that's not as good and is probably a little more dangerous. The whole thing. So, what's this going to? How is this going to affect your business? It's going to be many more. I mean, you're going to be able to do much more business, I would think, right?
Yes, we would think that this will definitely result in more fish deliveries, and more fish deliveries is more economic gains for the territory.
Tell us what happens where you say China and other people steal your fish. In other words, you're forced to go to areas that are very dangerous.
Well, because of the monuments and overlays of sanctuaries, our fishermen mostly fish on the high seas. And if you look at Global Watch, you will see China, Japan, Korea, and Taiwan all fishing on our very edge of the 200-mile zone. So our fishing, we're in competition with them. And also, their dumping of their fish on U.S. markets lowers the price for our fishermen. And that's another difficult thing that we hope you'll take care of soon.
And what about the stealing of your fish?
Well, you're competing with tuna in a very competitive market, right? So they're camped right outside, like you said, they're camped right outside our EEZ.
And what happens?
And they're taking our fish because it's migratory. Tuna is migratory.
Because we
They
can't
don't-
fish in our zone. The fish goes to whoever.
And they come in. They come in the dead of night and poach
Yes,
them
they
and
do.
go out.
They come-
Nobody cares.
they take the
steal.
fish,
Yeah, that's a common, well-documented problem.
Does anybody, I mean, it's so interesting.
It's-
Even you have to find this one interesting.
Yes.
So by doing this, we're going to give you back your lives.
Yes.
And you've been doing this for thousands of years in this area. And then
Absolutely.
along comes Biden and Obama, and they say you can't do it anymore, right?
This is fish baby fish.
Yeah. So
That's right.
what's the level of and this is a risky question, but what's the level of popularity of Trump and Samoa versus the Democrats?
77%.
For
Poll
Trump?
shows for Trump. Yes,
Wow.
that's right. 77%.
Probably go up to 90 tomorrow.
Yes, go up to 100.
100. Well, it's an honor. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because it's just an honor. Here's one of the boats that they have. Look how beautiful that is down. They use it for a beautiful cruise to take 7 days before they can do the first fish. Can you believe it? So now you'll be able to do it like almost immediately, right?
We get much closer, absolutely. So if the fish is there, we can make more trips and deploy more people.
Do you know through sonar, radar, everything? Do you know where the fish are? I mean, can you see that?
You get educated guesses, so you get all kinds of different reports, plankton and all kinds of stuff, and they can.
It's a beautiful life. You wouldn't choose any other life, right?
It's a very unique life. I love what I do. I really do.
I mean, if you could have a life like some beautiful leisurely life in Washington, D.C., mugged when you go to work, but other than that, you love politics. If you could live in the White House, you'd take exactly
might take it under consideration.
All right, let's do this, right? That's an honor. You've seen that signature, and I don't use auto pen. You know, like Biden. Biden uses auto pen. I think
That's a lot to the American Samoas.
And what is the second one, please?
We have one more also relating to fisheries, sir. This is an executive order on seafood competitiveness. Currently, we have two basic problems here. One is that the American seafood industry is dramatically overregulated. Our fisheries are dramatically overregulated. The other is that we have unfair trade practices from our foreign trading partners relating to the seafood industry. So this executive order is going to attempt to address both of those. The Department of Commerce, other federal departments and agencies are going to work with the fisheries to establish common sense regulatory reforms.
How long will that take?
I think we're expecting to move as quickly as we can. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean, you know exactly what we're talking about already, right? It's crazy. The regulation.
It is.
Secretary Lutnick is going to fast track that, I can assure you.
Howard, please, go ahead.
Sure. So you just heard us, the economic zone around Hawaii and Samoa is huge, and it's exclusively ours. So why wouldn't we have our fishermen fish there? I mean, imagine saying our own fishermen, every country in the world, they all fish the 200 miles off their coast, and we were stopping our own fishermen from going off the coast. It's totally the opposite of common sense. That's why President Trump has changed it. Now let's talk about regulation. If you're not even going to let them fish, imagine the regulations that have been written to stop our fishermen from just surviving and thriving. We have the greatest coasts in the world with the greatest fishermen in the world, and we need to let them do their great jobs, raise and capture fish, bring them to our tables, have America have the greatest fish in the world, which we have, and then let them export all these other countries, right? They stop us from exporting. That's going to be over with your leadership and your trading policies. We're going to open all of these markets, and we're going to let our fishermen thrive and prosper, and we are going to have lower cost fish, more of it, and the freshest fish in the world. And this is just common sense for the United States of America.
So could I ask, it's so interesting. So you take these massive areas of water, and other countries are allowed to fish in them, right?
No.
They sneak in, they poach.
So they're not allowed, but they do it because they don't care.
They fish in their own zones, sir.
Yeah.
So we're systematically disadvantaging our fishermen by not allowing them to fish in parts of our exclusive economic zone, while other countries have their own exclusive economic zones, and they're fishing the heck out of those.
So they're totally benefiting.
Now that you're allowing the U.S. fishing fleet to fish, they also serve as observers. And when they see poachers, they report them to the authorities. And so they are a big help to the U.S. Coast Guard.
Right.
And so it's great for our U.S. food security.
It's great.
I mean, we should have a trade surplus in fish, and we have a big trade deficit.
It's crazy.
Because of all this. It's just crazy. Nothing
Okay.
familiar.
This is an easy one.
Very easy.
Fish.
Hi, Mom. This is an easy one. This is crazy, huh?
80% of the seafood in the U.S. is imported.
Can you imagine that? We import seafood, and we have the greatest coast of fishing in the world.
Okay, so in Maine, they do something similar.
That
I
is
think it's like
crazy.
500 miles or something, some crazy
Why would our
thing.
government do that?
And
to
Canada
us?
goes and they fish there, other people
gotta ask
fish there,
yourself.
Europe fishes there. The Maine
That's my biggest thing is, why would our government do that to our own people? That's crazy.
lobster. You can't get Maine lobsters because Maine's forced to go for days out to some other area that's not as good. We have to free that up too.
We'll have that on your desk next week, I promise.
The Maine lobster, right?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
You did it last
Think of it.
time, and they undid it.
Canada fishes there.
Biden undid
No, we're
it.
not allowed to. Yeah, I did it last time in Maine, and they undid it. That's why we have to stay president for a long time.
Oh, heads are going to turn on the liberal side for a long time, he says. You know, yeah, he took off the Main Lobster area, and the Democrats put it back on, so they couldn't fish it there again. So he said next week.
Thank you, everybody. What an honor. It's a great honor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Take care
Mr.
of
President.
yourself. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, we're going to leave it right there, man. That was awesome. Trump, again, like he always does, gives back to the people of America. He loves America. Even the American Samoan, Hawaii, Maine, all those people, everybody around the world, guys. You got to love this guy. He is working tirelessly for the American people. And I would think that if you're out of America, you would want your leader to fight for you as well. But with that being said, guys, thanks for sharing, subscribing, and we will see you on the next next video. Sorry.